Hey SPN family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill.
And this is Roadhouse Idiots.
Hey guys, so we just finished watching tonight's episode, and you will notice that we are uploading 2 videos this week. This is our normal review, and then over here, I'm going to have a link to it. Both videos will link to each other. We did a live reaction because we kind of wanted to give you guys a thank you because we recently... It was a couple weeks ago now, but we recently got over 50 subscribers, which is really, really exciting.
Yes.
And now we're at like 58, so that's awesome. So we wanted to do something to thank you. We thought this would be a good night to do a live preview because it looked like from the preview it was going to be funny, and it was snowing here all day, so we were kind of home in the house, so we figured, all right, I'll probably still be snowed in tomorrow, so I will have some time to edit it for you.
All right, so the premise of this week's episode regarding Dean was Dean gets a spell put on him by a witch or warlock or whatever terminology you want to use there.
Witch.
And he is slowly losing his memory and just kind of...
Losing it.
Just losing it altogether.
It all around.
And it's up to Sam
enjoyable.
to enlist the help of Rowena to try and reverse the spell.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier, when we talked about season 12 predictions, way back when, right before the season started, we talked about predictions, and our prediction for Rowena was that she was going to basically be this ally to the boys this season, and she was. And I think we got a great monologue. It was a really great excuse to explain Rowena's reasoning for being an ally to the boys, with how she saw that she's always seeked power, and then with God and Amara having power and they still weren't happy, well, maybe she's been going about this all wrong. And she was vulnerable to Dean simply because she figured he would not be able to remember that conversation.
Right. Which was, interesting to see. The scene that I really liked the most was when they broke the fourth wall. They have Dean standing in front of a mirror and going... Hi, my name is Dean Winchester. My brother is Sam.
Mary is my mother.
Mary is my mother.
And Cass
is my best friend. And then he tries to say it again, and he just slowly
he gets so afraid.
Not with it.
And honestly,
that was my favorite scene.
That was really, really props to this guy, because that definitely had some of the feels. I'm sure some people in the fandom were screaming at that point. You can see our reaction. It was... because it was right after, too, Sam was like, this was worse than seeing him die.
Yeah.
And I think for Sam, because it was a funny episode, but I can see now, from Sam's perspective, that it must have been a difficult thing, because he's seeing his hero, in a sense, lose everything about him. And, as a person who has someone that is very close to me in my life who is going through dementia, I can tell you that sucks. It totally does suck. But we were sort of seeing comedic Dean before that moment, so I can so at first I was like, come on now, him dying is definitely worse than Dean acting like a stoner. We kill people? Awesome. I can shoot guns? Awesome. And that part was really funny. So to hear Sam say that it was worse, I'm like, well, it wasn't worse. But then the scene with Dean in the mirror, I was like, oh, yeah, that would be worse. I think I actually have to bleep myself out, because I swore at one point, I was like, oh, this would be awful. This would just be so... Yeah. So, and he did a phenomenal job with this scene. So, brava.
Best part of the episode. I don't know if I really want to get into too much detail about the plot, because it was a pretty...
Yeah.
The plot, outside of, that very serious moment, it was a pretty vanilla...
Yeah, it was... Dean forgets himself. There's another book. Rowena wants the book. In return for doing something good, she wants the book, but the Winchesters keep the book.
Yeah, right? So... Really,
all the bad book.
Outside of the core, not dilemma, but the core problem of that needed to be solved.
Everything
really wasn't much else going on.
Yeah,
there really wasn't.
I mean, I love
it. Was a filler. It was a filler episode.
Yes, but it was a funny filler, and the notes.
Parts of it were funny.
The notes that were on the car.
That was a nice touch.
Stay, and then
Lamp.
The witch Like
which killing bullets,
and like gone and just no. And then the best thing with the side, like, oh god, what's that gonna do? Witch killing bullets.
Yeah.
That was great. And then my favorite line by far was like, brother, witch.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Brother.
So.
But like, so can we just for a minute, I talk about it in my live action recap, like, my god, the Harry Potter references in this episode.
Yeah,
so much
Gillian
Harry Potter.
Lachlan, not to be confused with Gilderoy Lockhart.
And like, Obliviate? Seriously? Obliviate. That is the spell.
Straight out of Harry Potter.
But like, at first, when it first was Obliviate, and that was the first thing we heard before we heard the guy's name, I was like, do they know that that's the Harry Potter spell? Clearly they do, because then, like, the name...
I think we heard the name first and then the word.
Okay, well, yeah. I, like, paid attention to the spell first, and I was like, Obliviate? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed nerding out to Harry Potter during Supernatural. Great performance by Jensen with the mirror scene. That was awesome. I look forward to seeing a future GIF of we're like best friends with an angel, and him talking about how awesome is that. But yeah, it was kind of a filler episode. I would give you a teaser for next week's episode, but I can't right now. CW.
Is Riverdale any good?
I know, that's not fair, because there's probably some people that like Riverdale that have started watching Riverdale.
That's what I'm asking. Is it any good?
Is it any good? Let us know this week in the comments below. Have you gone to see Riverdale?
Is Riverdale worth the amount of promotion that CW is putting into it? That's what I want to know.
I do want to know that.
Rating?
I think it's time. I guess it's good that we did. I'm actually happy we did a live view reaction this week, because I feel like there's not as much to talk about this week, because it was, parts of it were filler and, like, forgetting things. Like, and it clearly was, I understand why, because they don't want to, like, overuse moments of, like, Mary, but that, to me, I feel like took away some of the direness. Like, if you recall, like, way back in season 1, when Dean gets electrocuted and he's, like, been told he's gonna die, and they go to, like, the Reaper on a leash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing, because he's, like, told he's gonna die, the first thing Sam does after doing a bunch of research is he calls John Winchester to be like, doctors say there's nothing we can do, but don't worry, because we're gonna figure this out. I mean, don't you think if, like, Dean's in danger of dying and it's, like, a prolonged thing that you have news that he's gonna die, don't you think Mary would have been notified?
Yeah.
But anyway, I get why they did it for plot purposes. Like, she didn't need to be in this episode. I'm not saying she should have been in this episode. I'm just saying that, if you're dying, tell your mom. That's all. Like, courtesy call. All right, we can do the rating now.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
All right, go. Give me a 6.
Give it 5.
So 5
to match the amount of Super Bowl championships that the New England Patriots have.
Zachary, I know you're so happy, I'm happy for you.
What a great football game
but,
it was.
Like, do you know that everyone in America who's not a Patriots fan doesn't like us?
What a great football game.
It was pretty good. But they don't like us. So stop talking about it. All right. So anyway, 5.5 Impalas.
5.5.
5.5 Impalas, which, I mean, we've had 2 really good episodes previous weeks before. I still enjoyed this week's episode. I thought that there was some very, very funny scenes. I laughed hysterically at the rabbit at the very beginning.
I did too. Yeah, that was funny.
And I laughed at several moments, like, brother, which died laughing at that part. But it was a filler, so because of that, it's, and it was a funny episode, but it definitely wasn't, it's not going in my top 5 funniest Supernatural episodes.
It's one of those episodes that when you get the DVD box set, and you're, like, rewatching the season, if you wanted to, like, skip an episode. I wouldn't skip this. I would skip it.
I wouldn't skip this.
It's a skippable episode.
No, I wouldn't skip this. There's only one episode, honestly, this season that I would skip.
one was it? Must have been that good if I don't remember it.
It was one. Some people really liked it. It's just not my style.
Which one was it?
When Dean kills Hitler. Not when he's talking about killing Hitler, but just like the Hitler episode to me wasn't my cup of tea.
No, I can do without that one.
I would absolutely rewatch this again, and I would laugh again. Mm-hmm. But can we talk about for 1 second, guys? Because honestly, I would watch this again. He's hating on it, but I would watch this episode again.
Hating on it. I'm just saying it's not
You're
memorable.
Saying you would skip it.
Yeah.
That's hating. So I would rewatch this episode, but can we talk about, this is what I want to ask you guys in the comments below this week. And I made a comment to you while we were watching the episode. All right, the end scene. And I don't want to be critical because I love Supernatural and there was awesome points about this episode. But like the montage at the end, what was your guys' opinion of that? Mine was, I absolutely love seeing Dean ride the bull, but I felt like that whole montage was only put together because they shot these scenes of Dean riding the bull, and it was probably originally a scene, like when the waitress was telling him about it, and it went into flashback mode, and then they just didn't have time, but then they didn't want to not show the riding the bull.
Time
because
they wound up showing
I don't know. All I'm saying is that's what it felt like to me, but they wanted to show Dean riding the bull, so they put together this like montage at the end of it together of like stuff that like just happened this episode with shots of him riding the bull thrown in.
Yeah.
And I loved watching him ride the bull, but I didn't think it was an episode that required like a montage of memories going through.
Yeah, it was not necessary.
Like season 6, episode 1, when Dean is like in his new life with Lisa and Ben, and it's doing flashbacks to his old life with Dean. That was a totally, thank you, with Sam. It was a totally necessary moment for there to be a montage flashback.
Yeah.
But I didn't think there was a need for a montage flashback.
No,
I will accept it because watching Dean ride the bull was entertaining, and I have a feeling that's why it was thrown in. But do you find that scene necessary at the end? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you've seen Riverdale, is it good? Should we stop hating on it? We're really not hating on Riverdale. I'm just hating on not seeing the Supernatural trailer for next week's episode. Because I get very excited about seeing that. And then I have to go scouring around waiting for Supernatural to come out with it on their Facebook page the next day. It's not the same night.
Speaking of Facebook pages, you can like us at Roadhouse Idiots on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at Roadhouse Idiots. And thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed to our page.
Thank you so much, our 58 subscribers. We love you. And if you want to join, we love you too. We put out new videos every Friday. Sometimes we put out 2 videos like this week. So join us each week for updates. And guys, thank you so much for stopping by the Roadhouse.
Carry on and have a wayward week.
Bye.